So today I want to build up the excitement for the next Battlefield game. Things are looking pretty impressive so far based on the leaks, especially for a game that is possibly not even in pre-alpha or a year away from release, or maybe give or take, this game is probably a year away from release. It's making the possibility that Battlefield being in a solid state more real, but as usual when it comes to the Battlefield franchise, please wait until the game fully launches in a solid state before we start saying Battlefield is back. There's a history there, just want to reiterate that. I feel like it's really important. Now this video will serve as a wish list for the game. If there's anything I miss, be sure to drop it down in the comment section below on what you may want, because again, I have 4 things here and I'm sure I'm going to be missing some stuff that maybe you want. Now, before we jump into the specifics, just want to say if you guys enjoyed the content and want more from me, be sure to hit that subscribe button and bell to be notified on when I drop more content. With that out the way, let's talk about my wish list. So at number 1, smaller scale destruction. Yes, Levolution is awesome, but what has always stood out as peak Battlefield destruction to me was that Battlefield 3 style. Throughout most of the Battlefield 3 maps, they had plenty of destruction in small ways, whether it was explosive or bullet caused destruction. An ideal example would be the Close Quarter DLC. This, especially for its time, was just peak Battlefield destruction. The levels of details and how wild things got, it was insane, and it honestly represented a true evolution for DICE in terms of showcasing the destruction potential. Going back to smaller, more focused destruction elements, I think will always top the bigger, more grand styles we have seen, especially in something like Battlefield 4. I would rather take a Grand Bazaar over a Siege of Shanghai. Yes, it was cool, but feels way more scripted than the natural player controlled stuff that we saw in Battlefield 3 and hell, even Bad Company 2. It seems that based off some leaked gameplay that I will not be showing for obvious reasons, the 2 maps being tested on is showing signs of this. It is still early. This could be possibly the only 2 maps to have this style of destruction, but I think it's safe to say we are looking good on this end. At number 2, we have weapons. Battlefield 2042 launched with only 22 weapons. If I was to narrow it down to only primaries, well, 19 goddamn primaries. And again, I want to reiterate this, we are not counting Battlefield Portal because I do not think that counts. We cannot do 19 primaries again. We need something in the likes of Battlefield 4's launch quantity. That was a big old 64 primaries at launch. Even if 10 of those were from the Ace weapon platform, it's still an insane number. So personally, I want 64, but if they delivered something in the line of Battlefield 3's numbers, which was 39 primaries, I'll be okay with that. Weapon quantity is an extremely important part of first-person shooters. I feel like that's something in the industry that has been forgotten in a way, especially if you look at other Battlefield games that has launched. The 19 number from Battlefield 2042 is just, it's beyond embarrassing. So let's not do anything near that ever again. Now, at number 3, an actual post-launch content pipeline would be incredible. I feel like the last time DICE had any sense of a post-launch support was with Battlefield 4, and funny enough, DICE didn't even work on those maps. It was actually Ripple Effect Studios, formerly known as DICE LA. They also arguably fixed the game, so that's a fun fact there. Ripple Effect is going to be playing a big part of the development here for the next Battlefield game. However, they are not working on maps. Instead, they're to be working on a battle royale experience, allegedly, which will be free to play. Motive this time around will be working on the maps, so it's nice to know at least here, DICE isn't the linchpin of anything anymore. Letting a studio focus resources strictly on maps, they're also focusing on single player content too, as others work on other aspects of the game, is going to be huge. I feel like for the past few titles, DICE has just been ignorant to the reality of the industry now. And I think that's shown in the post-launch support. A game like Battlefield 4 launched with more maps in a year and a half than 2042 in its entirety, and Battlefield Portal does not count towards that number. It should not count towards that number. In the end, Battlefield 2042 had 15 maps. Mind you, one of those maps, Stadium, is just part of another launch map given its own little focus made into its own map. So it's actually 14 maps versus the 33 total maps in Battlefield 4. This should not be the case in the year 2025. We need a well-planned content pipeline that adds in content, like Call of Duty, for example. Sure, I have massive issues with Call of Duty, but they actually have post-launch support. So for this next Battlefield title to truly be a hit, delivering new maps post-launch is a really important aspect. Last on this list is honestly one I feel like I haven't seen so many people talk about. I've heard it before. I want to reiterate, I think it's really important. A server browser. Sure, I have issues with server browser. Like, for example, being so good you piss off the admin that you get banned and kicked from the server. That used to happen. Does it suck? Sure, but nothing is more important to the Battlefield experience than a server browser. Plus, in regards to cheaters, you can kind of deal with cheaters fairly easy when you let players control who is in and who is out. If someone is egregiously rage cheating, you could just simply ban them from the server and your problem is solved. On top of that, the ability to add more tickets, control vehicle spawn parameters, and control the map rotations are all wildly incredible things that help maintain a solid experience for Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4 as some examples. So this is really important, and I trust that the new and returning OG leadership knows that a server browser is pretty much a crucial element, and I would at least hope it would be added in by launch. But worst case scenario, within 3 to 6 months, server browser needs to be in the game. I want it at launch. I would slightly give you the window of having it within 3 to 6 months. But besides that, that's pretty much the little wish list I have for the next Battlefield game. Of course, like I reiterated, I am surely missing some stuff that some of you guys find really, really important. I'm curious to hear what they are, so leave your thoughts down below. If you guys enjoyed the video and found this video informative, be sure to drop this video a like, helps out the video a ton. And of course, for more content from myself, do expect more Battlefield content. I don't know exactly what, but we will be posting it a little bit more frequently. Hit that subscribe button and bell to be notified on when I do drop that stuff. So yeah, with that being said, that's all I gotta say on this one. Thank you guys for watching. It is greatly appreciated. ShadowNinja here, and I'm out.